One moment.
1 second. Final Boss editing.
Can you hear me now? Okay, cool.
Yes.
Well, hey, this is Jeff and Danielle with Final Boss Editing. So we're going to do a quick review tonight, but a review nonetheless, and vote for the new Amateur Friday things because YOLO. So we're going to go ahead and look at the log lines. Amateur offerings pour vu. Okay. Vampire United, ashamed ex-soccer pro must rise up against the new owner of his local team when he discovers he's an Eastern European vampire bent on destroying the beautiful game.
Is it beautiful?
Is it beautiful?
Really?
Oh, excuse me, ma'am.
Alright,
I'm gonna choose that one. Oh yeah, volleyball girl. Alright, Uncle Kevin, you wanna read that?
Uncle Kevin, my Drunkle Kevin. When her mother goes missing on Black Friday, a strong-willed teen is forced to quest into this shopping chaos with the person whose company she enjoys least, her perpetually immature and inebriated uncle.
Oh, it's about me.
Oh yeah, it's a Jeffrey movie. The Mars exploit. After telepathic extremist seize control of the solar system, an elite programmer must sneak onto occupied Mars and subvert the enemy's communications network or say goodbye to freedom of thought forever. I kind of like that one. I choose that one.
Alright.
Should we read the other ones just for...
Yeah, we can. This honorably destroys rain, breaks a stalemate between the U.S. military and gangs that inhabit what's left of flooded New York City. And then your 4 friends have a normal day until everything goes wrong. A little bit too vague for me.
Yeah.
But we're going to go ahead and download these screenplays and get the party started. Green Plales. Sunday night rock and roll. Alrighty, boom. No, I do not want to open in browser. Come on, guys. Nobody wants to do that ever. Boom. And then we'll go ahead and get this party started. Alright. The Mars exploits. May as well start with that one. I'll go ahead and get this thing out of the way. Boom.
Nice.
Let's see what happens here. Alrighty, off we go. Go ahead and scroll down, see if this still fits. Fade in. That's a little bit pushed to the side. Let me just scoot that over right about. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Fade in, outer space. A courier craft appears from off-screen and screams toward a cloud-covered sphere of blue and white. Proxion, 27. Oh, card. Proxion. I usually don't do cards. You just usually do super. 2722 AD. A courier docks with a larger ship in orbit. Interior, Lieutenant Bells and Zhang's apartment, night. On a cluttered desk, a futuristic computer screen displays the headline. Next step, radicals consolidate control of the Soul Sphere.
Are we next?
It's an unknown where the Telepath Supremist group plans to attack, but intelligence from the Soul Sphere indicates. A woman's hand opens the drawer, draws out a gun. A massive fleet is gathering, orbit around Mars. We see Lieutenant. I'm assuming it's the BBC. I get that's the only. I get the sense that's the only newscaster that will survive. The British. Hey, how's it going, Moocher? Thanks for stopping in.
Hello, Moocher's gal.
Alright, so this is the Mars exploit. The first thing I would say with VP1, I would say card super, just do normal super tag. And then the news fleet, okay, so we see Lieutenant Belhin Zhang from behind as she disengages the safety, lifts the gun to her head.
Ooh.
The outer room continuous. Conscription notices have been a shot from the other room drowns out the newscaster, if I can speak. On the counter, a framed photograph. It has some people in red Earth uniforms. I don't know what that would mean, what that would look like.
Yeah.
What does a red? What is a red Earth uniform?
That says Earth Union.
Yeah.
Earth Union.
Yeah.
Earth Onion uniform.
If I can spell. There we go. I'm making it through. Starting with mine.
Nice.
Yay!
Hello.
Oh, nice. I'm excited.
Cool.
Stoked. Well, you'll probably, as the week goes on and I stream writing instead of editing, you'll probably see the upcoming chapters in progress to a certain degree. Cool. Included are Zhang, her husband Tom, and a younger, happier version of Captain Andrei Khrushchev. Outnumber Prokyon's defense by nearly 100 to 1. Interior, Khrushchev's apartment, night. On the same photograph, unframed, stuck to a refrigerator. Nice transition here, actually. I really think that's well done. One of the best movies to study to look at how transitions work really well is actually Fifth Element, which we watched last night. But nice to have like the picture-picture parallel. It's actually, I'm actually impressed. Let's see, Khrushchev, a scruffy and stressed. He's of an indeterminate ancestry, pleasant melding of many Earth cultures. Khrushchev, no, I'm not calling to complain about a conscription notice. It was promised. Can't you just put me through to Major Nagani? I think I've got a link for that one. Nice. Nagaveni. A knock on the door is a PO in a blue Procyon uniform. Captain Andrei Khrushchev.
Knock at the door is a PO?
Yeah, as like a petty officer.
Oh.
Yeah. That's a bit...
Police officer? Petty officer there.
Yeah.
She's right there. Just kidding.
Yeah. I would probably still put it in the action line, but that's just my own. And also, I don't know what a Procyon uniform is. You may want to... That uniform description seems a little bit vague, hard for me to visualize. Captain Andrei Khrushchev, that's me. You've been activated, sir. There's a car waiting for you downstairs. It's about time. He grabs a bag from beside the door, exits, steps back inside, and snatches the photograph off the fridge. Lang, mountain ridge, south continent, Procyon. From afar we see a tiny figure scaling a barren rock face. I see. Okay, so we're kind of jumping around to all these different, like, assembling the team. But it's...
It's only the second place, right?
What's that?
It's only the second one, right?
Well, the first one was the lady that killed herself. This is the other guy. So I think this is all the different people reacting to whatever happened.
You're a time traveler, Moocher?
No worries, Moocher. I understand how that goes. A buzz from her phone. Gibraltar frowns at her pocket. Wasn't that turned off? I think that's Lauren Gibraltar. She climbs onto the ledge, pulls out the phone, reads, "Report for duty immediately." Gibraltar takes a long look from the precipice over 1,000 feet to the bottom. The whine of a shuttlecraft. A blue-clad petty officer stands inside, open hatch. Craft eases closer, but Gibraltar doesn't wait for it. She kicks off, burdens her rocket boots, and grabs hold. The PO helps her inside.
I like it so far.
Yeah. From cover, we watch a team of scientists conducting an experiment. So P3, good. Set stakes with the suicide. Yep. Okay. During experiment, we have various instruments about trying to detect. We're not sure what. Pulling back the faint outline of an observer. Boop. Humanoid, armed with a rifle. One scientist turns a device, an infrared scanner on the bushes. The cloaked figure is visible on the screen. Still no good on the infrared. The shuttle descends, kicking up dust. An officer in Procyon blue steps from it. Confers with the lead scientist.
Private Caleb?
Scott Caleb removes the hood of his now silver stealth suit, revealing a young man with his hair in tidy cornrows. He fiddles with his rifle. it materializes.
This man needs you to go with him.
As Caleb turns to return the hood.
No, the suit too. And that.
Caleb takes the rival with him onto the shuttle. Exterior Serendipity Incorporated. It's kind of a funny name, but establishing. I wouldn't do the. I wouldn't have a slug line without any action in it like this. That's a very like in production type tool. I would at least. You'd have Serendipity Incorporated Exterior Night, and then you have like a low building sits. Blah 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 blah. I would not want to jump straight to the next shot because I, the reader, don't know what you're establishing. It's just kind of this like, okay, we're outside, then we go inside. You probably want to. Let's P3. Oops. I wouldn't recommend it. Okay. And during night, team of programmers sits in a circle on a holographic display, typing diligently, various ages. Though they have little in common physically, the group feels like family. That might be because of their eclectic taste in clothing, bright colors, and neo-cyberpunk style beneath company lab coats, or their eccentric and color-streaked hairstyles, or some color sense of their faces. These belong to the Earth's underclass. Come on, Tavares. A middle-aged programmer leans across to their leader, Mida. Tavares. Black Brazilian with intelligent eyes. Right now, Tavares appears skeptical. So one tip one of my writing instructors told me long ago was that you almost always want to avoid, unless it's absolutely necessary for the character, naming a specific race, because one of the things it does is it limits the people that you can cast for it, right? So if you're looking for, it's sort of like what happened with Ghost in the Shell, right? They needed an A-lister to get the movie made, and it had and like the original character is Japanese, but they had to bring in Scarlett Johansson, who is not Japanese. Because they wouldn't have gotten the movie made otherwise. So one of the interesting things is that that kind of works the same, but it's easier for Ghost in the Shell to still do it because that's a very well-known movie with an existing following. If you're a starting writer and you have like something that specific in there, just make sure it's in there for a very, very good reason, or else it's kind of imposing some risk.
Right, like dark skinned. Would that be?
I would just go with because like usually the most important thing in the character description is like their vibe. So then you're like wearing big glasses, like leather jacket, like those types of things. Like what they wear is like really important to the character. Like it's sort of like in. Did you ever watch the movie Juno? Like her character description is like I forget. I wish I could find the script. I had it years ago. But like it's like kind of like a punk kid with like that always seems to be looking up, or it was like some sort of like a bit more just about who the character is as opposed to like what their external appearance looks like, because that's all dependent on who you hire for the actor. Aww.
Can send it.
So you actually can send it in. We always at least try to read the first 10 pages, and if it's interesting, we keep reading. So feel free to shoot it over. We'll definitely read it on.
We're probably not going to stay super late tonight, or be on here super late.
We're sleepy.
Yeah, so we might just do the first 10 regardless. We have 2 to go through.
We do indeed.
We'll see.
We'll see if this is really good. I'll keep going. Yeah, we're already on 4. The one thing too is I'm going to be starting to look for. So we have a lot of characters so far. One thing that I usually try to avoid is if they have over a few lines, I sometimes try to give the characters a name at that point. So there's a lot of like Officer 1, Programmer 2, sure it needs to be there. Because sometimes it's important to the character. So if it is, great. Okay, the other departments do it. I've seen them. The worst thing they can do is tell you no. Tavares waves, contemplating the unthinkable. How do I see that? So I would be sure to show that moment. What does... So, and this is just kind of pretty, especially with screenplays. Like in novels, you can get away with this more, which is what I'm learning because I've switched from doing more screenplays to more novels now. But in screenplays, you usually really have to be more diligent about making sure that, like, hey, whatever I'm describing can at least conceivably be visualized. I don't really know what contemplating unthinkable would look like. Typing slows the other. See that she's about to give in. Kind of another moment I'm not really sure how I would visualize that. So whenever you get that ambiguity, the reader kind of feels that vagueness come into the scene, which is not necessarily a good thing. Hey, Silent Willow. Oh, nice.
Okay, Silent.
Greetings, Silent Willow. Well, yeah. So I mean, you're definitely right. Lionra? Lerona. Oh, I'm dumb. Lerona. Yeah. But yeah, so you're definitely right. So that's kind of a novelist thing. It's okay in a novel. You're absolutely right. It's a little bit hard to visualize.
So far, though, I think most people. I mean, it's like a hard thing to not do. I think it's been pretty good thus far. So.
Indeed. Well done. Well done, indeed.
Oh, hey, S.
Hey, SW.
Yes.
Hello. Yes, my team is working late. Would like to order takeout. The door opens and an officer in blue enters. Excitement turns to panic. Tavares rises, ready to face the music. Meet at Tavares? Yes, ma'am. I need you to come with me.
Wait. So what happened? So that was like a joke. It was like.
Yeah, so it was a joke. They were,
like. Okay, got it. It's like, oh, she's actually just ordering takeout. Okay.
Yeah. What's going on? Did you do something wrong? Nothing wrong. You've been conscripted. A shuttle lands on an orbital launcher, which sits on a horizontal pad. Tavares steps inside. Okay. Caleb enters, stealth suit, then fits still in her climbing gear. She turns a long and deeply disapproving frown on Tavares, then sits. Prepare for liftoff. They buckle up. I'm going to try to do the voices. Khrushchev frowns. This is everyone's series of shots. Launcher is seated in the cradle, which rotates until the nose is into the sky. A countdown. Passengers' faces strained as they lift off. The launcher exits the atmosphere in the docks with a long, slender ship. The fast courier Cleopatra. Interior orbital launcher. Gibraltar. Someday I'll give you a real flying lesson. The pilot smiles at the exit. It's just playful banter. Cleopatra. Seems kind of random. Docking bay. Especially since it's not really set up. Because I don't really see or talk to the pilot too much except for prepare for liftoff. So I would... the passengers file out of a launcher. A crewman. Thanks for the follow. Smish smosh. Shmish moosh. Muchachos Garcias. The pilot smiles at the exit, just playful banter. The passengers file out of the launcher. A crewman in a dark blue jumpsuit directs them down the hall to passenger berths continuous. A dozen comfortable-looking acceleration couches line the chamber, vertical at the moment. Khrushchev straps in. Excuse me, isn't someone going to tell us where we're going?
To be briefed once we're at speed. We still have 2 hours of acceleration before the jump.
All but Khrushchev exchange glances. Whoever summoned them isn't kidding around. The crewman helps each one check their straps. You want to be the bridge officer?
Oh, yeah. All hands prepare for hard acceleration.
This is the Mars Expo. Yeah, nice.
My Drunkle Kevin. Oh, yeah, we almost picked that one.
Just ran across the street. Woo! Did you read my Drunkle Kevin? We actually, so we read through the log lines, but we didn't pick that one, but we We can. I think the next one we chose. We can. If you're the writer of Drunkle Kevin, I mean, we can always jump over because I'm pretty open.
Mm-hmm.
What was the second one we chose?
The
Vampire United looked pretty cool, but I'm down. Both of them look good.
Yeah, if he's on here.
So yeah, if you're the writer of Drunkle Kevin, we will read it. It sounded pretty cool. Still better for cryosleep. I'll take your word for it. A series of shots. Cleopatra burns the candle, then her engines dim. A moment later, she vanishes into jump space. A team steps out of the acceleration couches and takes a moment to catch their breath. Khrushchev changes in an officer jumpsuit, dark blue with ride stripe of lighter blue across the shoulders. Tavares, dressed like a crewman from before, she waves a glowing wand over her hair, removing all the color. The briefing room, day shift. Caleb was already seated in the oval-shaped table when Tavares and Gibraltar enter, sizing up each other like two strange cats in the yard. Okay, good. Bringing the characters together early. One thing that I'm beginning to see is no character has been given more weight than the other, right? And usually in ensemble pieces, that's something that happens pretty early on, so we know who our protagonist is, right? Or at least we know who the lead character is. For example, in the Usual Suspects, one of the things that would happen there is you had all the usual suspects. You first had that opening with Verbal Kent, you first had that opening with the main guy. What was Verbal Kent's like? There was one of the other guys. Yeah, but like one of the main characters was in that scene, so we knew he was important. And then finally, you have like the usual suspects getting rounded up, and Verbal is like, I don't know why I'm here. I'm not one of the usual suspects. So that contrast immediately brings him to the forefront, and the other character as like the two main leads. In this one, it seems a little bit less like that. This is boom. Cool. I am, and I want to be critiqued. Sweet.
I'll critique me, you fat, get a job.
Nonsense.
Semicolon, hopefully isn't necessary.
I did not see a semicolon, but
down there.
Oh, yeah, cool. He shuts the door. The others can't help it over here. I think that works. It could be a period, but yeah, I think that would be that's kind of a style.
It's a different idea.
Yeah. I guess if they're yeah.
Okay.
But anyways, cool. Well, then we will definitely read Drunkle Kevin. Good old Drunkle
Jeffrey's
Kevin.
Actually,
but we want Drunkle Kevin to see a lead emerging. Unless it's like a pure ensemble piece, then you'll want to see a theme emerging. Like whatever like the single like lead is, that's usually kind of what you want. Can't arrange the rest of the roster however you like, but you promised me Lieutenant Zhang as a pilot shuts the door. Can't help but overhear. Belen Zhang shot herself this morning after hearing what the Espers did on Titan. Tom was still down there. Khrushchev's shock is plain. What does that look like? So, like, you know, the mouth dropping open, eyes widen. This is, so whenever you have these moments that could be a little bit more shown, you're kind of missing out on some opportunity to really characterize them. Like, does Khrushchev like run his hand through his like salt and pepper hair, like, you know, whatever that is, like, you know, or like, you know, or is it like some nervous guy who's like jumps in his seat and is like, ah, like, you know, same reaction, different characters, but this would not be specific enough to get me in either of those places. So I would really consider, especially those little character grace notes. Those can do a lot to deepen that characterization. Show this shock. Showcase shock. Use for. Boom. Gibraltar hasn't fought the Espers, but she's the best pilot we have. You'll make do. She claps Khrushchev on the shoulder and walks out of the frame. The door opens. The sound pieces. Yeah. Yep, it's very true. Say eyes wide. I say way too often. Yeah, same with me. And I think the one way I try to think about that is shock isn't always shown in the face. Like, it can be a gasp. It can be like the chair jolting suddenly if someone's
Yeah.
jumping. So I would usually think, yeah, because I struggle with the same thing. I do a lot of shudders down spines and all that sort of thing. But then most of it is like, like a chilling feeling isn't necessarily like a shudder down your spine. It could be your goosebumps. Like it could be all these different things. So I would just think of a different body part. That doesn't sound weird, and that usually will help bring it out. But I would almost always even opt for just another eyes wide as opposed to saying shock, because then it's completely up to the reader to visualize, and I would almost prefer kind of something that may be a little bit more cliche to that, in my own style personally. She claps Khrushchev on the shoulder, walks out of the frame, door opens, letting Raquel Rasulov, a bright-eyed mechanic. Caleb sits up. Oh, Kaylee? Oh, from Firefly? Yeah.
Bright-eyed mechanic.
I love Kaylee from Firefly. She's my homegirl.
Well, it's a free pass.
Yeah, Kaylee's a free pass.
Dr. Tam's a free pass for me. So.
That's why I mean, it works. I mean, who doesn't have that when they get shocked?
Definitely not you.
No. It's boredom. That's how I show boredom.
Yeah.
But by now you've heard the news of Next Step's victory over the garrison on Titan. Sorry, I got lost.
Commander Rasulov, reporting as ordered, Major.
Nagaveni acknowledges her, then addresses the room. Again, acknowledges would be like nods, like tips hat. I'm sure you're all anxious to get started, they sit. By now you've heard the news of the Next Step's victory over the garrison on Titan. Gibraltar quits trying to stare a hole through Tavares and turns her attention to the Major. The Espers have had their eye on Procyon for a long time, with the Earth sphere consolidated. There is no doubt they'll invade soon. On Caleb's, as this sinks in. Again, one of the ways, so it's usually best to avoid, especially in a non-sold screenplay, it's best to avoid telling the camera where it's going. One of the easy ways to avoid this is just describe that person's reaction in a visual way, and the camera will kind of have to go there. Like if you're like, instead of saying close on wedding ring, you can say like Joe twists the wedding ring around his finger. Like, and that is like a similar shot, right? Because the way you would visualize that would be the shot, but then you're still letting the cinematographer kind of have their just desserts to a certain degree. I would, I'll just put that on P8. Or this is P7. Let's void another direction for camera. Unless, like, 100% necessary, and then you only want to do it, like, maybe once or twice in a screenplay. Cool. The only thing holding them back is that the defector from Earth Union Defense Forces brought us the encryption keys used for intrafleet communications. Rasulov focused. She's heard all this before. Without secure comms, the Esper fleet would be vulnerable. Rather than risk their ships, Next Step has decided to rebuild their communication software from the ground up. Since they disconnect every upload they find, they've had to rely solely on human programmers to do this. Our spies report they're less than a month from completion. Your mission is to deliver our best programmer to the Fleet Technical Center on Mars. Interesting. So there's a few things I would think about here. One is this is a long dialogue block, and it is not in a conflict-heavy situation. So this reads very it feels a little bit more pure exposition as opposed to that drama of conflict, and exposition makes drama, right? So this is kind of a bit too much, I think, on the pure exposition side. The other thing to think about is all these guys just kind of were rounded up without much of a struggle except the first who killed herself.
Well, now it sounds like she killed herself because her lover died or something.
Well, yeah, it was like I think
maybe she didn't get recruited.
So now that kind of inherent. So I thought one of the reasons she killed herself is because she did not want to join this. She didn't want to listen to the summons. So I thought that gave it much more conflict because I was like, oh my gosh, the summons must be something truly horrific. Now that I found that wasn't the case, these other people just seem to be drifting in for another day's work, and then kind of the conflict is drained out of this conversation, especially if it's some horrific summons, then that feels a lot more like, whoa, oh my gosh. Just type that in. Bobo. Hello, Vaughn.
Hi, friends.
How you doing, bud?
Doing alright.
Just doing a Twitch review. Getting those writing chops on.
Ooh.
Yeah, you're welcome to jump in for one of the screenplays.
Yeah. Say hi to Twitchland.
Yeah, you can say hi. This is Airbowen. he's a sweet hat. All right, so let's see. What was that note? Oh yeah, a bit of conflict for augmenting speech. Also, like another day's work. A horrific task. Then I'll space down so you guys can see. Bless you. Bless you.
Excuse me.
All right. A lot of drug abuse. Drug abuse mostly.
Needs to be longer.
The Esper fleet. Oh wow. Yeah. So then that's just like Espers with the magic spirit from Final Fantasy VII. Ah, Espers. Oh, interesting. Testing. Oh, hey, what up?
He's already been there.
Oh, testing. Oh, did I miss a?
Combs? Yeah.
Oh, I can think. Oh yeah. Hello.
Hi.
You have the photographic memory. Okay, cool. So, talking about their mission. Okay, we'll deliver a feat. The program is sent out on Mars, where she will place a virus inside the new software. Okay, so the pretty much next step is decided to rebuild their communication software. Our spies report they're almost done, and we're going to put a virus in their software. And if it goes well, we'll be able to see everything they say and shut them down completely. You want me to write a virus, Tavares? A virus is already complete, put together by uploads who escaped Earth before. Next step's digital massacre. Your job is to insert it in such a way that developers won't realize it's there. Ah. So that's good. That's a visualized, reaction. Me gusta, me gusta. Well done. Agree.
A long dialogue block. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You were saying that.
And then also this just scene. So even though you're using some action lines to break it up, there's two kind of guidelines I think about here. One is each individual line should almost never be more than 4 lines long. Or like each individual phrase, thing under their name. Like 4 is usually the maximum. Same with action lines, or else there's just not enough white space, and people start skimming. The other thing is, this scene just has one person talking for a lot of it, and there's not much conflict. So that would kind of be the other thing that I would try to do, kind of what Majin Buu was saying, which is to infuse conflict. Yeah. And I think they are driving the plot forward by giving a goal. So this is giving these characters the goal. The other thing, though, is I want them to also have their own individual goals that they themselves have.
I want to hear about how they feel being there.
Exactly.
Like they just got pulled out of nowhere.
Action. So they all seem to be accepting it pretty well. Telepath named Jason. The image of Jason Wed, 25, with his head shaved, replaces the map. Objections begin immediately. But he's an Esper. We can trust one of them. He's a Martian citizen, only identified as a candidate.
This is good.
2 years. Yay! I know what goes on inside those Esper freak factories. Even if you knew him before, he's not the same person. But if he gets inside our heads, starts messing around, we have equipment to prevent that. Travara claps trembling fingers beneath the table. She stares at the hologram with pure, unmitigated terror. He won't be able to read your mind as long as... Enough! Mr. Yu's loyalty has been verified by the Mars Resistance, but since you'll be dodging Espers throughout the operation, each of you will be issued special anti-PSI equipment. Anti-psi equipment, I see. It's like pounds per square inch?
Yeah, I think that.
Thanks for the host, Majin Buu. Cool. So cruise ship stands. Okay. Unquestioned loyalty, even though he's an Esper. We have 16 hours before our show. Stop over on Wolf 359 will be plenty of time to discuss the details. Get some sleep. Studies the photograph. Close on Tom and Zhang. 2 EDUF cruisers above Saturn, guns blazing. Shuttle above one of the ships are cheating men in UDF uniforms. Khrushchev and Tom among them. Distant sounds of combat. One cruiser adrift near Saturn ring. She's badly damaged, but there's no signs of pursuing craft. Okay, so he has this kind of stark flashback, so it's good. I usually avoid using flashbacks if possible, but if you have to, I'm glad you're keeping it short. That's very important. The shorter the flashback, the better, and it's at least in context because he's looking at a photograph, though I am not a flashback fan because I get the sense they are sometimes just used to give a fact. So usually the best use of flashbacks is it influences the outcome of the current scene. Mm-hmm. So this scene would have a different outcome because he remembered something on his card or looking at a photograph. Mm-hmm. But what it sounds like is it's more being used for just getting the communication that he's like lost his family or something, which is fine. But it's optimizing those moments is important. Let's see. P10 flashback influence. Yeah, cool. Watched, okay, wounded EDUF soldiers and officers board a shuttle, bullet on a stretcher. Tom touches her face but doesn't board. With resolve, he moves towards a different shuttle. Tom, she'll be fine. Eamon's got this kit, right? No, she won't. We had a chance with Belle flying with her. We'll never get through.
We'll never get through.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
But you can do Tom too, actually.
Yay. No, she won't. We had a chance with Belle flying. Without her, we'll never get through. Not unless someone draws out the pursuit.
If anyone goes, it should be me. She'll need you up. She'll need you here when she wakes up.
Oh.
Sorry.
With all due respect, sir, you're no pilot. They'd catch you before the second shuttle finished launching.
Khrushchev lets go defeated. Tom climbs up. What am I supposed to tell her?
I'll head for Titan. Who knows? Without the wounded to worry about, I might even make it. You get that intel to Procyon. I'll join you when I can.
I don't remember them being assigned something specific. So this seems to be like incongruous with the command, with what I would expect to happen after the commander. I don't know how this relates to the main plan, yeah. So I feel this is...
Maybe this is only...
Yeah, maybe. In flashback. Oh, this was all flashback?
Oh.
Series of shots. Okay. Interesting. In flashback. Krim pulls up the photo and throws it away. At the long table is a double handful of crewmen on their work clothes. Tavares puts her tray down. Just as Caleb is about to join her, Gibraltar slaps her down the tray. This is an officer's table. Tavares moves to another table where Edgin, Dante, particularly dude mechanic, sits. Caleb follows.
Who's that? Oh, that's not a guy.
Is it? It can be.
It's a girl, or it's a guy, I think.
It's a guy.
Who spat in her latte?
I'm used to it.
That's a girl.
I'm used to it.
Hey, you're our new passengers, aren't you? Edgin Dante, I've been helping Vasilov get your ship ready.
As Tavares shakes his head, Razilov appears.
Dante, leave him alone. I think that's a girl.
Yeah.
Your stupidity might be contagious. I might as well get used to Mars time, too. How are you settling in?
Pretty good. What's this about a ship?
I'll introduce you after breakfast.
Okay, so interesting. So, we're coming to a part where there's getting to be more and more characters, and I'm beginning to not distinguish between all of them. And I'm not sure who I should care about or who I shouldn't, because even like the main leads, they kind of seem to be varying priority. I'm guessing the
Tavares, maybe?
Khrushchev is like a big guy, and Tavares is, but it's not super clear who like the mains are. Lots of characters.
There's no like distinguishing, at least there's no distinguishing stuff between them.
Not much, yeah. So like we didn't know who was a guy or a girl. Each so hard to tell. big, clear goals. So the best way to make sure that the reader knows there's a main character is give them a very strong goal. Something that is like, I want to do this, and maybe it's conflicts with whatever they're assigned. Who knows? But that giving them a goal will be very helpful. But yeah, I think we're on page 12 here. So shall we call it?
Yeah.
So we can do the overall.
That's pretty good overall.
Good. Smooth writing. Well done.
Most of the good ones.
Clear.
Mostly showed instead of telling.
Mostly showed and didn't tell. And it seems to be moving along.
And it was interesting to look for like Ocean's 11-y kind of.
Ocean's 11er. And then the stuff I would improve. I think, remove the showy, the telling moments that you have, if possible. Give characters clear goals that we know early. Clarify who the main characters are and who isn't, and deepen characterization. So I know the difference. Yeah, I mean, I think probably the biggest issue I saw here was some of the, just some of that characterization, those characterization problems. Lots of characters, and I would also add that, like, combine any characters you can. Oh, combine. Oops, if I could spell. Okay, cool. I'll just save this so I don't have to. This is Mars exploit. Okay, cool. So we'll put all these notes on Scriptshadow later as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and get the next one started here.
Drunkle, right?
Drunkle, indeed. My Drunkle Kevin. Poor Drunkle Kevin. Comedy with heart for days. I like it. So I'll read the log line before we get started here, even though I won't pull it back on screen because that just sounds like a hassle. When her mother goes missing on Black Friday, a strong-willed teen is forced to quest into the shopping chaos with the person whose company she enjoys least, her immature and inebriated uncle.
Named Jeffrey.
Yeah, good job. Yeah, good job. It was well done indeed. Yeah. Cool.
Would you say struggling, or he was struggling with some of the.
Hit me with it. What the hell did I just read? No, I think it's good. Genre is comedy.
Family comedy.
Family comedy.
Despite inebriation.
Okay, I'm excited. My Drunkle Kevin. Boom. That should pop up on the Twitch Shazam magical thing. Just make sure OBS is still good. Okay. Shazam. There we go. Looks good to me. Okay, cool. So yeah, let's do it. Okay, fade in. Interior dining room day. Cool. An empty chair and place setting heads a Thanksgiving dinner spread fit for a king. A noticeably absent king. I would describe that. I would just describe family members hold their hands in prayer and no one sits at the head of the table. And I would put that in bold. That would be my one caveat there. Just because my drunkle. My spelling today. P1, show the absence. How do we see it on screen? Cool. Family members hold hands in prayer around a massive turkey as their hearty side dishes steam off their plates. Nice visual there. Well done. Sarah Rockwell, an aging blonde, fresh off her transition from yoga pants to mom jeans, keeps her glassy eyes lost on the vacant seat. She has a lot on her plate.
See, that's good telling.
Mm-hmm.
Or not telling, showing.
Yeah.
Not like she's worried her husband's not home or something.
Yeah, I think that's a good character intro for sure. And while I feel lost without you, we all know you're here in spirit. Her disheveled father, Charles Stanley, Aunt Babe, and Uncle Bub, Aunt Babe,
and Uncle Bub.
Aunt Babe and Uncle Bub, I see, and her overdressed sister and brother-in-law. I don't have these cool names for my family members. No worries. This is good. It's good. Don't be too worried. I think it's good. Cons 2016. Kevin. Okay, so Kevin Stanley, 32, strides towards the king's throne, dressed to the.
What's this Gregorian chant though?
Oh yeah. Okay, sorry.
Amen. Dips on a leg.
Kevin Stanley, 32, strides towards the king's throne, dressed to the fives with spotty stubble dotting puffy cheeks. He sports a look more suitable for St. Patty's Day. He plops on the king's throne, smiles, and pretends not to notice the collected gaps from his table mates. This looks excellent. You've outdone yourself this year, Sar. He clutches the turkey's drumstick. After a few tugs that shake the table beneath him, he tears it off with a flourish. Grease drops paint his clean plate. He takes another good visual. He takes an impressive bite, but hesitates to chew when he notices Sarah's disappointed glare. He gulps down the bite. Come on, still. He would have wanted me to sit here. He turns to Charles, who seethes in anger, and Aunt Babe, who looks beyond him, to Uncle Bub, who snarls angrily. Carolyn and Lance gawk at their plates to avoid eye contact. Kevin catches his own distorted reflection in the brass gravy boat. Even he looks disappointed in himself. He sighs and stands at the drumstick. Sarah grits her teeth and wipes the greasy plate clean. Looks like another party foul on Kevin. FOWL. He air drums the turkey leg with no reaction. Drips fly. Right. Paul would have appreciated that one. Bon appetit. He salutes them and splits. Cool. So, a lot of people. I just know lots of characters, and the one I feel is the lead now is Kevin, since he's the most. So yeah. But just beware. It's always tough to start with the family table because there's a bunch of people. Yeah. So yeah. The setting sun highlights a cheap pilgrim lace tablecloth with 3 plates scattered atop. Fingers of light stripe the squint. Fingers of light stripe the squint of.
Desire in her eyes. She's squinting.
Yeah, I would clarify that visual. So I think the visuals are good, but just beware if they're getting a little bit too florid. Good visual, but be sure clear. Fingers light. Cool. Bon appetit. Awkward purple. Cool. Most of the niggas leave instantly. Okay. Okay. Then I would consider. So if most of them leave pretty soon after and they're not in the story, I would only kind of very vaguely name grandma and grandpa sit around the table. I wouldn't give them specific names. Every time you give like Aunt Bobo and then they have their own characteristic and their own description, me the reader starts trying to remember them, and I'm like, okay, Paula Rockwell, Tommy Rockwell, Aunt Bobo. Ba 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 ba. So eventually I'm like, okay, which one actually matters? So I would, if some characters disappear on void. And this is just what the reader kind of intuitively wants. Like if I'm going to spend time getting to know somebody, I want to get to know the protagonist. Or, something like that. Boop. Yay. Cool.
A Borg brunette who shouldn't legally be allowed to wear yoga pants.
She's a vegetarian by the looks of her plate. Paula slices the
Say
turkey.
that she doesn't have any meat on her plate.
Yeah, that is yes. I concur. Paula cuts a slice of turkey for her impatient relative. A brother, Tommy Rockwell, ate and places a bowl of green slop before her high-chaired cousin Hannah. 1. Hannah waits all 2 seconds to knock it over. She and Tommy laugh. Paula embraces the retina burning rays. I'm still kind of confused about how it's a cheap pilgrim tablecloth. Yeah, I guess it's... Yeah, I'm trying to get this like light visual that's going on, and I don't know if that's been well delivered, or at least like really super clear yet. Paula just embraces the retina burning rays as Kevin mopes with his turkey leg in one hand and a tall drink in the other. He takes a seat across from Paula and scooches over to block the light from her eyes. Thanks, but I prefer the glare. Kevin smirks and holds his hands up. Tommy huffs and grabs one. So he's sitting at the kids' table, I guess. Paula reluctantly takes his other while she and Tommy fight to hold on to Hannah. It's my turn to say grace. So, amazing grace. This food looks good. Nom nom.
That's amazing, Grace.
Why, thank you, Paula. It came from the heart. Bon appetit. Paula shakes her head and eats a dainty string bean. Kevin runs his finger across his throat and points at Tommy. Tommy nods and slams his fist into the table. You want to be Tommy?
Paula, stop the clock.
Mom! Sarah, mid-bite, puts her fork and head down. No eating contest, you two. Stressed, Sarah tries to enjoy her meal. Maybe he should just sit with us.
No, if he wants to act like a child, he can eat like one.
So still have a lot of these characters. So I think for me right now, it feels like 14 viewers might be the record. Breaking records.
Apparently, this is when everybody is awake.
Yeah, Sunday night, man. It's the time to Twitch.
Late.
But I'm trying to think of the best. Also, the Scriptshadow crew is pretty diligent about their screenplays. Okay, so I'm trying to think of the best. Yeah, I still think I think the large cast in both the screenplays are beginning to kind of they seem to be hard to manage. Like I would say, there's a lot of people in the first one, a lot of people in the second one. I see kind of both writers kind of struggling with managing how many people are and doing this and that and the other thing. So another just caveat that I think about as well is really try to simplify if possible, combine as many people as possible, and then at least if you're going to have a lot of people, make sure that whoever is the main character is like super highlighted, super in the forefront, that we at least know where they kind of rank. Or else you kind of run into this kind of more vague zone where, I don't know, because I think for some reason I think the Paula, because she's kind of sassy, will be one of the main characters.
Mm-hmm.
I think Kevin will be one of the main characters.
Mm-hmm.
Initially, I thought the mom was going to be like the one who made him sit at the other table, Sarah. So those kind of seem like the main characters. Maybe they'll just sit with us. But Charles is kind of mean too, so maybe he's up there. I don't know. Paula wipes mush off Hannah's chin. She sighs and wipes drivel off Kevin's. He's too transfixed on Tommy to notice. No Legos for Christmas? I have too many. Stop buying me Legos. A skateboard and Thor's hammer. Whoa, hold up, kid. Thor's hammer? You really think you're worthy?
He's just setting you up for disappointment again, Tommy. Uncle Kevin's broke.
Annoyed, Kevin takes a long sip of his drink. Oh, so he's older. Wait,
Yeah.
I guess he was 30?
Uncle, right?
Yeah, I guess he was 30 when his intro. He's almost so kiddish in his description that it feels... Where is he? 32. That doesn't feel super uncly to me. I would think like 40 personally, but I guess that makes sense. So, page
that, like,
4.
that we're younger.
Uncle. Kevin seems a little... seems super for 32, but that's probably his character. Just, I kind of, yeah.
Not too far.
Oh, really? Whoops, you're right. If he wants to eat like one, okay, setting up before disappointment.
Someone always managed to get your guys' presents. Go figure.
I
I want a
want-
Volkswagen Jetta.
Go take a walk. He takes a longer sip of his drink, grimaces. Hey, Drunkle Kevin. That's Dr. Drunkle Kevin, Uncle Kevin, bud. He fires an unappreciative glance at Paul, then moves his head to let the sun engulf her face. Oh yeah, Dr. Drunkle Kevin, what happened to Patty? Kevin chokes on a bite of food. He scowls at Paula.
Tommy, you know we're not supposed to say that name anymore.
Kevin looks shell-shocked. Yeah, but why? Tell us what happened. Use the voices. Kevin shakes his head no, lost in reflective thought. Okay, good. We're actually showing some pain here. And I'm kind of assuming that Kevin and Paul will be the two main leads. I ever tell you about a time Paula split her softball pants?
Like 50 times.
She was so embarrassed, or should I say, bare-assed. That was her. Everyone can see my butt cheeks. Paula mouths the punchline with him. Tommy loves it. She still sounds exactly like that, right? 50 times. Meh. Kevin slaps Tommy 5, allowing the light back into Paula's eyes. Her now good sport smirk turns into a wince. My turn. Hey, Paula, guess who I am? I give you a hint. Listen, dopey-dope voice. Hey, I'm Dr. Drunkle Kevin. Beer me, brew 42. Hut hut hike. Tommy grabs Kevin's glass and chugs before Kevin can stop him. He spits and grabs his throat like he's been poisoned. Paul snatches a cup from Tommy and sniffs it.
Mom!
Okay. For your night. Sarah hugs and kisses her bundled up table mates by the door.
Take me with you.
Carolyn holds up a giant shopping bag of food. Not sure we have room in the car.
Ha! Take 'em, please. I could feed the world with all our leftovers.
I still say you're nuts going out tonight, Sarah. Please be safe. She kisses Sarah. And really, let him have it this time. Enough is enough. Sarah closes the door. She leans against it and centers herself with an exhausted sigh. Game face. Okay.
Sounds like she's gonna face Kevin.
Spending. Yeah, I mean, I think one of the kind of the common adages of writing is like get to the scene late. It seems like a lot of time, especially since I'm beginning to guess that Kevin and Paul are our two main characters, and maybe Sarah as well. I would spend the time, getting to their scenes and really letting their character come out through them, because they're going to have the most natural conflict. Because this, for example, with Sarah and Carolyn, short though it is, it still is like quarter page. And Aunt Bebe, but that can probably be cut, Bebe.
Babe.
Aunt Bebe.
I'm gonna call you Bebe.
Bebe. Okay, Charles sits on a recliner. That can probably be cut to like a line, like where she just like waves, walks goodbye, boom, and then we're right to like where the action is. That's kind of where the audience wants to be. Those little things can usually be leaned out somewhat considerably. Considerable. Cool. Alrighty. Let's see here. Charles sits in a recliner, hypnotized by the football on the TV. Kevin sits on the couch. Be careful for your parallel words. Sits and sits. Beware. Too close to each other. Kevin sits on the couch like a child scorned while Sarah paces before him. She double fists empty bottles of Jack.
After all, here.
Yeah, sorry.
I could be her Paula too. After all we've been through, you're taking advantage of me now? I need my sanity back. Don't you see I have my hands tied? How many more times can we do this, Kevin?
A long line of dialogue. Usually kind of the same note as the previous one. I try to keep it under 4, or else it begins to start sounding kind of long-winded. Old habits die hard with a vengeance, Sar. You know holidays give me anxiety. I think of Paul and Ma not being here.
There he goes, playing the sympathy card again.
So, like, that's, this is, yeah, so, like, that would be, like, one of these, like, punchy sentences probably could be trimmed, like, where it could be, like, old habits die hard with a vengeance, Sar. I think of Paul and Ma not being here and, like, anxiety, whatever, something like that. But, like, it seems like, compression probably could happen on those dialogue bits. There he goes again, playing the sympathy card. Okay. Paul sits at the base of the stairs nearby.
Wait your turn. We'll get to you. Me? What'd I do?
You narked, like you always do.
Bet you learned that word from your drug buddies. He has 2 phones, Ma. Only druggies carry 2.
What?
Oh, one problem at a time, please.
He taped over the finale of Alf. Sarah and Kevin share a sad glance. Her lip quivers.
Dad, you're doing it again. Just watch your game. I got this.
Charles reacts to a touchdown.
I thought Sarah was the mom.
Oh, whoa, it's
wait.
a daughter?
Wait, maybe the dad is... Maybe Charles is like the grandpa?
Wait.
Yeah, I'm confused.
Beware,
Oh,
long
yeah,
list of
maybe-
characters. Where was she introduced?
Beginning?
I think it was the first table, right?
Oh, she says she's 40. Okay, so
Oh,
Charles is the grandfather.
maybe Charles is the grandfather? Okay. And this is... It's good. That's why the table reads are good, because it's good to see someone be like, what? What's happening? Boodly-doo-doo. P7, starting, lose track of who's who, be sure to trim, combine, and focus characters. Sweet. Hey, what's up, Jay Crizzle? Oh, actually, if you want, Jay Crizzle... He submitted us the first chapter of his novel. If you want to read that after this, because I know he's a pretty good writer.
Yeah.
And it's not too late yet. We've actually been making good time.
Yeah.
Which is not normally what happens on these.
Soda.
Yeah. Should you want to grab one?
Yeah. Well,
go for it. I'll keep reading loud. Is it old man? So I guess pretty senile. Got it. Okay. That makes sense. I'll just do a soda water. Thank you. What a sweetheart, right? Points. Sending points your way. Earning many a point. All the points belong to you. Okay, Dad, you're doing it again. Just watch your game. I got this. Okay, Charles reacts to a touchdown. Kevin winces. Oh my God, you bet on this game. Kevin searches for his reply. Hangs his head.
You don't even pay rent.
Neither do you.
She's 16, Kevin. Although she certainly doesn't act like it.
I worked when I was 16.
You're calling what you did work?
Sarah turns the TV off. Charles moans in protest.
Did you mention the R word yet?
I told you I'm not a retard.
Rehab.
Rehab. I'm gonna just be the extra one. I know. Down from 14. I'm slipping. That was the peak. Rip peak.
We're really awesome and popular skills. I mean, we're right up there with League of Legends.
Yeah, I think
we're only like 380,000 short.
Yeah, I think they broke like 500,000 today with the finals, which was actually really awesome. That was. I don't know if anybody's not seen the league finals. You should go watch them. They were really great. Really cool game today. No, Kevin. No. I think it's time.
We're only bringing it up because we love you.
Paula scoffs. She sees the effect it has on Kevin.
You two used to be so close.
So this is a really good moment with Paula. I think the interpersonal comedy is usually the best. Like catching people when they're being sarcastic or BSing. Cool. First step is admission, right? I'm an addict. There, I'm cured.
You're just a dick, period.
That's actually a solid joke. She gets that from me.
You don't get that from your uncle.
Bicker. Oh, it's you.
Oh. Bicker. I swear, it's like I have 3 kids.
And
then, you're not his mother.
Kevin and Paula's voices turn to unintelligible gibberish. Sarah stands dazed, overwhelmed, yet oddly at peace. She peers longingly at the photo of Kevin and Paula during happier times at her Holy Communion, a great family moment. Kevin and Paula argue on. It punches through Sarah's tranquil moment of zen. She watches them go at it. You are very, 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 very correct. So what does that punching through Sarah's moment of zen look like? So that's another show don't tell moment, which Fox is the radar for show don't tell, so she knows.
I always find them.
She always finds them.
Find them.
Even in books that you read, like you'll be like, "This is bad."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I even did that
I'm
in
like,
Harry
"You're
Potter.
right." Well, yeah. Children's books actually and children's fiction usually have much more window for it because a lot of the kids won't be able to make those contextual jumps. But when you're writing adult fiction, especially if you're writing like middle grade stuff. Leftovers from my children's book writing class many moons ago. Why'd you let him stay here? Oh, sorry.
Why'd you let him stay here? I'm so sick of this. As soon as I get my car, I'm out of here.
I've seen you drive. You wouldn't make it 2 blocks.
No thanks to you. I've been practicing with Tiffy. You.
Sarah slams her hand on the coffee table and shuts them up. She shakes her hand out in pain and sucks her finger.
Tiffany Jones. Her parents buy her a brand new car, and 2 months later she loses it. Bodes really well.
Someone jacked this sex machine?
Sex machine. She's an alto, and I'm more responsible than her. I'd never let that happen to my car. She's an alto? What does that have to do with anything? I was an alto.
The sax machine. I think.
Sax machine. Oh, got it.
I don't know.
Got it.
It's weird.
Okay. I was like, I thought it said sex. I was like.
So, well. Oh, I think he said that.
Yeah.
She corrected him.
Yeah.
My car. You sound like him, entitled little brat.
Oh, Grandpa.
Dad. He taped over alto sax. Got you.
Oh, see, I was an alto in choir.
Checks pay off later. Deal. If you've been staying up late tonight, send you something, but I'm assume. So the reason, I will probably read Jay Crizzle because poor Jay Crizzle has been on the, it has been in the final boss editing queue for quite some time. He sent it over like a month ago. So I'm a bad person. But feel free to send it over to the Schmosh and we will read it.
Revenge for you, Jay Crizzle.
Just kidding. But we'll read it soon. So yeah, unless we're feeling really energetic, but I'm kind of already feeling sleepy. So it may be rip final boss after that.
Ow.
Grandpa, he taped over Alf. Yeah, I did. I'm sorry. You didn't hang that over my head for another 20 years? At least I wasn't drunk when I did it. Like night your mother died? Gut punch. Kevin buckles. Sarah too. She takes a seat beside him. Paula knows that's her cue to leave. Charles boosts himself up and hobbles out of the room. Sarah and Kevin stare at their reflections of the TV for a long, sorrowful beat. Sarah puts her arm around Kevin.
I know it's tough, but we'll get there. Talk more tomorrow. You're grounded till I get back.
What? Can you do that? Interior foyer. Yeah, I guess that. It seems kind of like a strange moment. Like, would the grandpa, would Gramps be so flippant? Even in comedy, that seems a bit of a stretch, and also the scene's tone changes really quickly.
Although maybe it was his son's wife.
Yeah, it could be. That's true. So it goes from argue to I'm sorry, Kevin. So that's kind of like a quick so usually, and it kind of works because it's like a traumatic moment. I've done my time. Okay,
cool.
It's true. But we edited Majin Buu's screenplay a few nights ago, and just be careful with it's coming. It'll be coming up later. Don't worry.
Yeah, it'll all
just
pay off
because
later.
It's good you guys have conflict. It's forward moving. The one thing I am kind of aching for right now is that goal, and I know it may be, especially if Sarah's going to go shopping, it may be coming on page 10 or 30, but in the meantime, I still would encourage you to consider giving him a temporary goal, which is I have to survive this. And he takes a drink of beer and then he walks into Thanksgiving dinner. That for me would be okay, he's just trying to get through, or he doesn't want to get caught. Right now it seems like they're just kind of interacting and no one's really driving something. Even if it's a fake goal that changes, anything usually early on is very good. So the main goal doesn't have to come till later, but in the meantime, you should still have these what's it?
Maybe his goal is to win arguments or make jokes.
Yeah.
Make more jokes.
That's true. I'm gonna tell the most jokes over Thanksgiving. I'm just kidding.
Really,
you wanna,
really
but that's what What's the guy who wrote Huckleberry Finn?
Mark Twain.
Mark Twain. There we go. My brain farted for
I'm
a second
related
there.
to him.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Good for you. No, you're a good writer. But yeah, so Mark Twain always said, a character should always want something, even if it's a glass of water. That kind of like always driving, it really brings a lot of life to the scenes. And these are good. They're funny jokes, but they kind of seem a little bit more static. And I don't feel that forward movement, even though you're setting stuff up.
Because like Kevin's last line, like there's been all these arguments, and there's like no conclusion on how he feels about anything there. It's just like, huh? You're grounding me?
We'll see what the comments say. Sorry, I have to like alt-tab between the comments. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, maybe school scripting overshadow with memory. Yeah, I mean, I think so. The trick. So I actually really like your intuition there. The one trick is I would always encourage trying to find a concrete example of that. So like maybe the way he doesn't want to be overshadowed is like, I'm gonna sit in Dad's chair. Like, 'cause that's what's happened in the beginning, but that kind of we went through that moment pretty quickly, which I thought was actually a really well thought out moment. So I would actually consider making that more like, I'm gonna fill Dad's place, or I'm gonna fill my brother's place. Like, that's his brother, right? So like maybe that's his goal, but it's visualized by something like, my family will let me sit in his chair when I fill my brother's place and become who he was. So like those types of moments, you can set that goal up now, have him fail it now, and then later on you can bring it back, which I imagine you do because you're being pretty conscientious, Cons, about setting these images up. So I'm betting you do that, but maybe if you highlight it as more of a goal and more of a challenge now, it'll give us that early, getting to like the inciting incident direction, because you still need to push to the inciting incident, and then after that, it can be used as a callback. Something to think about. Stay home. I bet you. Okay. Close up on wishbone being snapped apart by two hands. Sarah weighs longer. Some people have all the luck. Sarah smirks and zips up her heavy coat and wraps a scarf around her neck. Bites her finger.
Well, there goes the nail. Thanks.
Stay home. I bet I could find everything you want on Craigslist.
Trust your betting history or go have a ball saving money. Tough call. I need this. This is my Super Bowl and no one's gonna beat me, for I am the deal queen.
Cool.
1, 2, 4, 5.
Yeah, it is.
It's not too bad.
So I do concur. It is a bit of a long line of dialogue, but this hasn't been set up. So usually you kind of want to say at least somebody mentioning, like, because whenever you're self-proclaiming, like, I am this, like this, like, I think this is okay, but, I haven't seen her as a deal hunter before, and I've already spent 10 pages with her. So this seems a little bit more like, oh, I didn't know that. Not really a setup. And no one's gonna beat me, for I'm the deal queen. She puts her hand on her hip like Superman. Oh shit, evildoers beware. Sarah can't help but smile at her brother.
I'll be home before you wake up.
Home by 6 p.m. tomorrow. Got it.
You better not sleep that late because I can't believe I'm saying this. You're in charge.
The lights in the hall flicker and a ghoulish whistling wind passes over them. They ponder for a beat and then proceed on.
I like that.
That's pretty funny.
That's fun.
You
Think you could clean the basement? Bring the Christmas stuff upstairs?
Kevin smiles through the gritted teeth and nods.
I'm gonna need room down there for the bags and bags of stuff I buy.
She holds a red purse as if it's a massive piece of luggage. So there's kind of two things to think about. One is it does not seem in character for Sarah, after talking about getting this guy in rehab, to put him in charge of her home. That seems like a shocker to me. Like that seems like almost like beyond this suspension of disbelief. Also, this moment, it is actually really funny, but a little bit out of context. Oh, that's really true. Good call. And you should have the continued dialogue should have continued here on Sarah. Yeah. And most of the time the software will have that if you're using script writing software, so just make sure that's turned on if it's an option. But yeah, I think the two things that are most concerning to me are, putting him in charge seems 100% out of character. And I think the other bit would be, let me think, I need room down here for the bags and bags of stuff I buy. Okay, and then also, just think carefully about the wind moment. It's funny, but you're kind of, I think you are kind of taking a risk there. Though for now it pays off, but you may feel long term that it has an overall detractive effect because it shifts your tone a little bit. And tone, especially in comedy, is really important because once your reader doesn't believe or because comedy is really funny when there is some reality and there is some groundedness because I can relate to it. The best comedies usually enter character, but once the character exchange seems false, all the comedy dies. So same with the world. So I don't think you're breaking that boundary here, but just think about that as some of the trade-offs that happen when you start bringing in these extra goofy jokes that sometimes will lose some credibility in the world, and people won't have that weight and heart they're putting in as well. Okay, again, you need room there for the bags. Holds a red purse, massive piece of luggage. Opens the door, heads for the red sedan. Yeah, just what the family needs, more baggage. Good luck. Sarah points at her wishbone trophy to Kevin.
Don't need it.
She kisses her hand and blows it towards him. Kevin wipes off his cheek like a disgusted. She's a big girl. That's a big girl.
Oh man. Turn it back.
Turn it back on. You can delete the same thing. I turn it off always.
It was just up to the random.
Yeah. It is sometimes. Yeah, I think it's a choice. Most of the scripts I read use continued. All the scripts I write use continued. I would probably lean towards it. I think you could get away with not having it, but you usually don't want. No one will. So this is the way I would think about it. You'll never get in trouble for using it, and you might get in trouble for not. So.
Better safe than sorry.
Yeah, exactly. So it's well, that's kind of the coin toss. And then especially whenever you're on a spec screenplay, anything that kind of smirches your name in any way is it's a risk, right? You wanna avoid that as much as possible. Channel located Texas Pulse, another touchdown on the TV. Kevin knocks interest toy Vanna, action figures. Later on the table, stops himself from knocking on the bedside door. Not so subtle. So Facebook, and you'll see your friends bragging about what they're thankful for if anyone really gives a shit.
Where are you?
Oh, sorry, I'm just reading down here. He's reading Paula's. Oh wait, no, Paula sits at a small desk. Insane line of people at Target store. Keep an eye on your uncle. You're in charge. XOXO love mama. Cat emoji. Party hat emoji. Turd emoji.
That's cute.
Paula's exits it out. Puts in some earbuds and helps the most melodramatic, angst-ridden song. Kind of these. This is a little bit on the telly side, but I think it works. For example, I don't know how Paula reacts to this, so I can't really get this. The Facebook moment without Paula reacting. Last bite of sliced pie. So Kevin's in his bedroom storage unit.
This is for his life, tightly packed in cardboard.
Corrects his knuckles. So I guess he's back in his half-finished basement or something. In series of shoes.
The dirty plate down. Cracks his knuckles.
Okay, series of shots. Huffs and begins a game of Tetris. He slides open a closed door and peers in nostalgia, small wooden chest-enabled Patty. Shrouded in a verbal royage bib of hoodies, yanks the off the locker. Garbage accumulated over the years. P90X DVD set, he can only laugh, so he's kind of going through his stuff. Falls in the bed with a stack of photos, pulls a chain that illuminates St. Pauli's girl. The only thing not strewn about the room is the Christmas stuff he was supposed to locate. End it series of shots. Kitchen day. Made you breakfast, sunshine.
Remind me to grab the recipe. Mom didn't make pancakes?
She makes her way, just a mistype there, makes her way towards the coffee maker. No fresh brew, coffee stunts little girl's growths. Paula looks up at the microwave, 9:23, into the sink, loaded with dirty dishes. She ponders, takes out her phone.
She's supposed to make How is she not home yet? Did she call? Make sure you check your burner phone, too.
Kevin doesn't even humor her. He checks his actual phone. Paula dials Sarah. Hangs up after a few wings.
Where the heck was she going?
Oh, someone misses mommy. Shopping. I don't know.
I know she went shopping. Where?
Places with good sales.
Oh, those places. Big help. Were you wasted again?
Look, our chats are always fun, but I gotta go drop yesterday's thanks in its septic tanks. Yeah. Is that my soul?
Yeah.
TV loud per usual. Tommy builds a pillow for sleeping Charles. TV newscasters cheese it up.
Stay tuned for tips on how to find the best deals in today's crowds. Don't walk to Calypso Auto's Black Friday sale. With prices this cheap, you'll be robbing us blind.
Voice actress. Okay, so I'll probably call here. We actually got farther than we expected, which means it's reading well.
Yeah. I think they're both good today.
Yeah, they're actually both really strong, but we must only vote for one.
No. Should we pull the Twitch voters as well?
Let's do our overall as well. So let me do the good stuff. Great dialogue. Though it got long sometimes. Good conflicts. Thank you, heaven. And scenes, but needed a goal/direction. Even before we got to the mom's gone goal.
I also thought you could already see the beginnings of like some heart in not just like this slapstick. Like there was sadness in like the goofy character.
That's a great note. I could spell goofy. I could spell goofy. Improve. The stuff that I think really comes down to lean out the writing. Cut the fat. Even if it factors into a joke later. For me, like I think the story always takes priority over the comedy in comedies, and this is like you'll read a lot of comedy writers going because if people love the characters in the story, everything is funnier because you just care about that person and you're feeling with them. So that type of fat, those extra little few lines like grandma and grandpa, those kind of distracting characters, they're funny, but like the real funny. And Kevin is probably one of the best dialogues in all of them, and he has great jokes the whole time through. So it's like spend that time getting me to really care about Kevin, because in every line, like I'm gonna be like loving it, right? So I think that would be the way to really make the comedy pop as well as the story. Also, trim character count, or just don't highlight someone who isn't going to be back a few scenes later. Okay, and then any other thoughts?
No,
that's pretty good.
Yeah, I thought they both of these today were pretty good. Thoughts, Twitch votes?
Thoughts, Twitch people? Yeah, let's see what's up.
Votes. Music, Jingle All the Way. There's a solid objective.
If you look at the movie like Jingle All the Way, yeah.
Gets funnier.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was pretty funny, Cons, for sure.
But even in Jingle All the Way, what I actually like you brought that up, because it's kind of like a holiday movie too, is before he gets to like, I need to get my toy to like make the kid happy, what was his first goal? I need to show up to his concert on time, or like his event. And then he was late for the concert, so then he had to get Turbo Man. So you can chain these goals together, but if you don't have anything and it's just kind of bickering without like a really solid push, it's going to slow down. It's 55. It's really funny. I hope these pages set the characters good. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, I actually really enjoyed it too. And for me, I think my vote will also go to my Drunkle Kevin, actually. Yeah. Which I'm surprised, because I was initially, the logline actually didn't get us, but my Drunkle Kevin, if I can spell. Alright, well then let's...
I thought they were both pretty good.
And then I will also put some room here for Jay Crizzle's novel, and we can go through that as well.
Good job to all the all the Scriptshadow.
Yeah, good job to the Scriptshadow guys. Those are two
good.
solid scripts, and yeah, I was actually very impressed. Usually
there's a lot more to talk about. So
so we read them fast because they were really good quality.
Yeah.
So yay. Small Town Goodness prologue.
Small Town Goddess.
Goddess prologue. Reading's hard, guys.
This is what I have to deal with.
Some noob editor who can't read. What does an editor do when he can't read? Yes, they recover the contents. Boom. Enable editing. And then I can probably just do full screen and do notes. And do track changes, yeah. I may just do that. I accept your vote. Well, it was very well done. Word. Let me just get Microsoft Word. And Word. Boom. Get this going. Enable Schmed editing. Hopefully that doesn't like freak it out. Yeah, it's gonna freak it out.
Uh-oh, give us a sec. Uh-oh.
Twitch explosion!
Hold tight, everyone.
Oh my god! Do you know the Abyss?
The Abyss sees you.
The Abyss. I've looked into the Abyss and it's Microsoft Word glitching. Word. Yay. Okay. Then I'm going to go ahead and put one of these things in comment just so it gets... Oops. Just so I can get it on the right hand side. Yeah, I'm just going to slide it over here. And zoom it in.
Really attractive and they need to be able
you guys
to see
have
us.
to see the pictures. Don't worry. It's important. I just want to see how big I can set this thing before it like just gets extreme. Boop. And then yay! We did it.
Can you scoot it over more?
Wait.
Oh, just because the...
Oh, good call.
and there's a light room over there. So.
You're a scholar and a gentlewoman. Cool.
What do you do without me?
I'd probably be homeless, dead somewhere.
Yep.
Hey, Bookfish, how's it going?
Good
Good
morning.
to see ya. We're actually just about to start Jay Crizzle's first 3 pages of his novel. So I'm excited. A little bit different from screenwriting, but I got to do it, right? So I probably won't put any of the other notes and stuff. I'll just do them all on this, and I'll turn on track changes so you can see where I change things. All right. Jennifer Olsen wasn't sure if she was actually going to miss her life, or if she was just looking forward to being nostalgic about it. She tried to ignore the parts of it that had already changed, like the stove her usual oatmeal breakfast was cooking on. Always whenever you have a infinitive like that, cooked, I would just use cooked.
I do that all the time.
Beware.
Passive voice.
Passive voice.
Right?
Like the stove or usually was cooking on, yeah.
Cooked on.
That's usually, yeah, it's just weird. Anyways, her husband Roy had brought and installed 5 years prior. The chattering of my favorite editor at medicine students.
Yay!
The pharmacist. She's been studying all sorts of crazy things before.
Yes.
Smish nods. It's true. A lot of times, yeah, it depends. Most novels, like Majin Buu said, it's less common. Because I had a prologue in mind first, and I cut it out because my everyone I talked to was like, nobody uses that anymore. Anyways, her husband Roy had bought it and installed it 5 years prior. She became fairly apt at cooking on it, but every once in a while, while she burnt things, when she forgot the flat cooking surface still held heat for a moment after the elements were turned off. The kitchen she had eaten in for 40 years had changed every 10 years or so with trends, but the level of tidiness had taken on a new position only in the last year. It was difficult to keep cleaning on the top priorities when the farm chores and the fact that she was now the sole occupant were the only constants she paid attention to anymore. She would always love the old RCA radio that was still in the corner by the sink, but she couldn't deny, ooh, Zoom City. I was going to zoom in a little bit because it was getting small. But I just exploded my computer. See if that's still legible. No, I'm just going to go back to normal. Boop, boop, boop. Back to normal it is. Come on, buddy. Yay! She could also a Nintendo, but she still couldn't deny the antennaless model that was installed, but the new stove, far less hassle. She glanced at the green digital numbers on her stove, switched on the radio. She transferred her breakfast into a bowl just as the last lyrics of a Willie Nelson song rang out. With the first spoonful of oatmeal, the radio DJ took over the airwaves.
Good morning. It's 5 o'clock, and now time for your Peterstown area community announcements. Good dawning to thee. The Peters Players production of A Midsummer Night's Dream opening night will be performed Friday, September 4th. Doors open at 6 p.m. with the show starting at 7. A follow-up performance will be on Saturday and a matinee on Sunday. Doors opening at noon, show starting at 1. Tickets for all shows will be $10, with discounted tickets of $8 for seniors and vets. Children under 8 get in for free. Is this all really necessary?
Yeah, it's not, probably.
Okay.
No, it's a very good note. So what I would say is good opening line, but I think you kind of get lost in exposition here. This is a lot of exposition, and we're waiting as readers for conflict. I think I spelled that right. So I think this is like a really good start. The writing is actually really good, but you're kind of getting into these long trains of dialogue, and then, you know, without that conflict to really start kicking it going. Please read my re-edit. Oh, what's the re-edit? Oh, I kind of lost track of what's happening. Shame on me. Jennifer Olsen's sure the surgery went. She was scared as she approached the mirror as she lifted her hospital gown. Jeez, pyro ponies. Shame, shame. That's how you get banned. Kids these days and all their drug
What
abuse.
did he say?
Oh, he's just trolling.
What did he say on this day?
Oh, he's just some random inappropriate shite. Boom. Trucked. Rip.
What did he say? I want to know.
I was just like that. Like this Jennifer walked out of bed and she had a huge wiener.
Oh.
It was some pretty top quality editing. The chapter itself just shows the progress. Yeah. Oh, and a character that really isn't the main character. Ah, okay. So actually, believe it or not, in my novel, I did the exact same thing. I had a prologue around a character that wasn't the main character, and every single beta reader I gave it to was like, well, who is this guy? When does he come back? Why do I care about him?
Even though it did like introduce his like villain and like some of the like
it introduced my villain, introduced the mystery, introduced the magic system. I thought I had it all figured out, but that was something that I dropped the ball on. And even though it was like, you know, this guy getting tortured, and I thought it was very conflict filled, it didn't really drive the story forward. So that's something just to be aware of. That I think it's okay to have a prologue with another character. George R.R. Martin does with Game of Thrones, but then he really is thinking about that. Underlines for act breaks in TV. Yeah, it could definitely be a chapter in itself, and you have successive paragraphs of dialogue. Make sure each one successive paragraphs. Make sure even with quotation marks. Yep, that is absolutely correct. You're gonna need mods, boss. I know. What is this? A Kafka's. Yeah, it's a very dark Kafka's. Watched this Twitch several months ago when there were regular AOWs, and now that it's busier, I went ahead and signed up with Twitch. Love the script reviews. Oh, thanks, man. Much appreciated. Well, if you ever do one yourself, Amateur Fridays.
Oh wow.
So if you ever do one yourself, let me know. Well, I'm glad. I love editing. I think it.
Sorry, I'm just reading. Yeah.
So yeah. What up, Ocean Nightmare? Abandoned 14.
Yes. 14.
Yeah. But yeah, I think epic fantasies. Yeah, I think you're right, and which is why Game of Thrones does it. Yeah, even like my sci-fi fantasy though, I felt now that I'm doing my second draft that a prologue was a bit too much distraction, and the beginning part of my story wasn't moving fast enough. So for me, I told myself, Jeff, I need to get to the goal faster. I need to get to the characters driving toward it faster. So anything that stopped me from the main primary protagonist and his goal, I pretty much cut it all. And that was the choice that I made. Yeah, I've already cut off about 10,000 words from my novel on the first 20,000 words, which is good. It means that was probably fluff, and it's reading a lot smoother. Okay, the Country Food Bank will be going to the food drive this Wednesday. Pardon me?
My leg's annoying there.
No, that's good. The country food bank will be on the food drive. I wonder if it's in the little camera. You little pause. No. As a reminder, the food bank prefers non-perishable goods, but homegrown produce will not be turned away. The DNR would like to remind everyone that both turkey season and bow season opening next week should be the forefront of all hunters' minds. Remember, Venice sounds delicious, accidental deaths aren't. Interesting. Safety. I see. Okay, I was like, whoa. And always with the start of the fall hunting seasons, we have the first of what most likely will be many annual messages from Eugene Peterson and Timothy Peterson. I'm obligated to say that the order of these messages were decided at random. Please, no lessons or letters or calls. Okay, another radio. Spending a lot of time on the radio, and unless it's going to be a significant part, or each of these mentions are going to be important. Hey, thanks for the host, Bookfish. Hey, Coldfront.
Hey, Cold.
Dance with Dragons, Six Skins is living a second life. It's true. I'm so excited about related 5 prologues for my novel, Big TW. Rip. Rip. Okay, so I think here, oops. Pick what's valuable to the story. This seems like a laundry list, and the opening line, though good, didn't deliver enough tension to make the reader patient. So I think like your opening line is good. It kind of sets off, oh, is she suicidal? What's going on? But
She's suicidal?
well, because wasn't sure if she was actually going to miss her life or if she was just looking forward to being nostalgic about it. So I assumed that was some sort of maybe she's thinking about something like that. He dies first, but yeah, technically, I've written a prologue in my life. Most scumbag of all the prologue characters gets to live.
Yeah.
That's true. Okay, God bless. God bless, folks. This will leave today's community messages. Earth, Wind, and Fire. Switched the radio off and laughed to herself. She wondered if when she made her journey to Arizona. Oh, okay. So yeah, so then she would find a small town with some sort of ridiculous. So her oatmeal finished, she deposited the bowl into the dishwater 10 years prior, not before rinsing it out and swishing out a lot of Blue Dawn dish soap in it. She walked down out of the bedroom to get dressed. She saw her denim overalls resting over a wooden chair that she couldn't remember ever being sat in. She passed them today in lieu of, let's go to bed soon. She passed them today. She said a quick prayer. She covered herself with an outfit that only had ever been used for Christmas and Easter services. A panning beam of light cut through the curtains of her room and scanned across the pictures of her wedding. First trip to Niagara Falls. So this is Beware Exposition. If I can spell it without conflict. So one of the problems is or goal, right? I think the challenge is in this section is I don't see her even conflicting with herself about moving to Arizona. She seems to just kind of be meditating on it. And that strict meditation alone is probably not enough yet to kind of carry you to this in the group of the radio axis, sort of a chorus narrative. Okay. So that's okay. Just make sure everything is 100% necessary. That's fine. The other thing I'd think about, Jay Crizzle, is if it is necessary to your story to have that radio narration, I would consider starting to bring more of the characters' individual goals, because it's kind of like a flashback, right? You flash back, but it doesn't influence the current scene. I would try to at least have it be a scene agitator in a current scene where she's trying to do something in the radio, or she's trying to have a conversation maybe with somebody, and the radio's going off and bothering, interrupting them, and they're like, turn that thing off, and he's like, no, listen to me, and then those types, so it can be used as a scene agitator to get that stuff across, get that nice tie back in effect, which it sounds like you want to do, which makes sense. But I would kind of be careful about just having it in the form it is now, because I'm not seeing that
else going on.
Exactly. So. Morning, she said. A man was saying, and D&D is awesome. We actually just are going to switch to a D&D game soon.
I bought a dice for D&D today. I'm excited. I've named it Rusty.
Jennifer is thinking about moving to. Oh yeah, you named Rusty the dice. Yeah. That's true. We just bought some
He's
D20s.
like an old redneck man.
A man was standing there. Early hours apparently weren't kind to him. His hand gripped a football cap of coffee that wasn't quite styrofoam and not quite paper. A polo shirt, bless you, that had started out tucked in, hung low and wrinkled by his thighs. Oliver Randall knew that being the real estate agent for a growing agriculture firm would bring early morning and late evenings, but knowledge would make them easier. Good morning, he began to say before the morning phlegm caught his throat. I should pass him today. The looks of you have a bed. Okay, good morning, Miss Olson. I'd invite you in, but by the looks of it, you have yourself a bed you want to get back to. So, how about we just get down to it? That sounds great. Jennifer stepped back inside for a moment to slip out of Roy's old work boots. Not concerned about what it did for her outfit. She had her own pair, but the land never seemed to acclimate them. It had become friends with Roy's boots, and she knew them intimately. And they knew them intimately, and while it resisted the rubber of other shoes, it welcomed the warm soles of his. That's kind of tricky to visualize, like this particular image, though I like it. It's hard for me to personify the land in that specific way. I would just say, blood personification. And that's not like a necessary revise if you really want to keep that. But that just kind of pulled me out of the read for a second. She had to stuff a few pairs of socks into them so they didn't fall off her feet, but it was a welcome inconvenience, so that the land never had to feel a separation anxiety that she suffered during the few months after Roy's passing. Oops. Just kind of reading back a little bit. Jennifer ushered Oliver Randall into the farm and began the tour. I have to say, Miss Olson, Oliver began. Jennifer's fine, Jennifer interrupted. The sound of her last name had become difficult to hear. Had it not been for the traditions that her mother raved about when she was alive, Jennifer would have gone back to her maiden name. Jennifer was fine, though. But Jen and Jenny, those names belonged to Roy. Okay, so that's good. We have dealing with the loss. I really like this setup here. Yeah. Dealing with the loss. Good setup. But show how this loss contributes to the character's need. Has she disengaged from life? Is she not moving on? So I think one of the great ways of setting up a loss is by tying a goal in with it. So if you think about the movie Up, for example, like the old guy, his loss, he lost his wife and this person he was going to go on an adventure with, but then he completely shut off the rest of the world, and he shut himself up, and he became detached. It was depriving the community of his involvement, which you see happen in the end because he's in the community with the kid. But that retreating is actually like a character need. So whenever you're dealing with a loss in a character, it's always good to think about how it's going to contribute to the need. D&D 5e is extremely fun. I'm excited. 5e makes me sad. RPG. Nice. That'd be awesome. I love watching D&D streams. So Amazon's doing a deal on the 5e books. I actually just bought it. So Pathfinder. Everyone's been talking about Pathfinder. These are all the D&D games.
Stuff.
Ooh, a sci-fi mod for D&D.
Huh.
Oh.
Had. Oh.
Yep. I concur. But yeah, any of the verbs that can be trimmed down, whether it's infinitives or had, I would agree. Jennifer, I have to say the price you're offering for this land is, well, it's a steal. I'm not supposed to say this, but you could easily get close to it for twice as much. Oh, I know. It's not the money, really. You want to be Jennifer?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I know. It's not the money, really. I'm getting old and without... Well, it's just a little hard to keep the farm running and still make my doctor's appointments and field the calls from the kids. If there was some place in Arizona where I could live without money, I'd probably just give the place away.
Of course, I have to say...
You have to say a lot of things, don't you?
Oliver laughed at his vocal tick, was called out. Well, yes, I want to say that you're a very strong woman. You actually remind me of my grandmother.
Yeah, I'm sure I met a lot of people of their grandmothers. But to be honest, I'm tired of being this strong old lady. I'm ready to be the snowbird who golfs and sunbathes. I'm sure your grandmother would agree if you actually asked her. So, this is the barn. Nothing too special about that.
There was something special about that barn, but Jennifer figured that the young man didn't want to hear about her first child being conceived in it.
Ooh.
Jennifer, you dog.
And
You
this
scoundrel.
Is the, and this is
Banned.
the Milky Way.
Banned from chat.
Your cousin?
Hey.
Is your cousin on?
I'm not a lonely guy. I don't think so. I don't think it's my cousin, but
Maybe.
maybe he's just an unloved lonely guy. Maybe that's just what I think. It's like a cool thing. Love D4. Yeah. Boom, 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 boom.
Critical Role. Yep.
Yep. Love that show. I watch it all the time. Start with the second book. Fish. Think people of other editions. Only 5. So pretty much we're editing Jay Crizzle's short prologue to his novel. So there's only 10 of them right now. I auctioned off a few over the summer. They should be in the pasture by now. I want to see them? Sure. Jennifer walked towards the pasture. She looked down at her feet as she walked. A lot of these introspective moments seem almost to be flashbacks. Oops, it's all in caps. I didn't mean to be yelling. A lot of these moments feel like flashbacks. They take me out of the scene, but don't necessarily add to it. So I would think like the way to measure like those thinking back introspective moments, stuff like that, like when your character is flashing back or pondering the past, the best way really is to say, hey, how does this change what the outcome of this current scene is? And if you say, well, the outcome is pretty much set, like we know what's going to happen, then that goes to a bigger problem that, well, why is the outcome not uncertain? Because uncertainty is conflict and drama. So, infusing uncertainty even into this, like maybe she's on the fence of going to, Arizona, whatever, I would consider infusing some uncertainty. Infuse into this scene to its pull. So right now I would say it's a good setup, interesting character actually, but it's not really like 100% pulling me in right now. Ooh, that's not very nice.
What did he say?
It's being a troll. Rip. Rip, unloved, lonely guy. Well, there's a reason. Everyone scowls at me because I run White Wolf, Scripts, and our fusion system. Now we know why you are unlovable. Lonely guy. Next screenplay based on the White Wolf campaign. Major Wolf crossover. Summon a sword. You're so popular. Trolls are coming.
I know.
Yeah, I can give it. There you go. How do I make, I don't know how, is it OP?
Maybe?
Is that how I get the... Yay, there you go, Bookfish. You're in control. You spoke up first. And you're on pretty regular, so... As she put her hand on the gate, she failed to realize that Oliver Randall had fallen behind her and become a statue. You said there was only 10, right? Oliver asked, his eyes wide on the sight in front of him. I would probably remove that clarification. It seems redundant. Just because he's, if he's eyes wide, it's probably on what's in front of him. That's right. You all right? Jennifer asked, looking at the man. He fell silent and simply raised one hand with his index finger outstretched at the pasture. What are you pointing at? Oh.
That's fine. What are you pointing at? Oh.
Jennifer said when she followed his finger towards the field. The pasture's grasses had grown higher every year since Roy had switched to beefers, and the herds were constantly trimmed. But at the moment, Jennifer couldn't see a single braid. Hundreds of cows crowded the fields. They all faced the same direction with their heads raised towards the woods east of the farm. Kind of creepy. That's a good image. I like that. Good. Jennifer leaned against the gate and tried to comprehend what she was seeing. Hey, thanks for the follow, Dave Dot. Appreciated. Jennifer leaned at the gate and tried to comprehend what she was seeing. Beyond the sheer numbers, the amount of breeds were mystifying. They were her Angus, but in a larger quantity than the night before. Guernsey's cattle, Holsteins, some sort of woolly cow that Jennifer didn't recognize, and what she was certain was that, at least 3 American bison. That's pretty badass. I should catch up on the, Is the name of the Elements of Style. That is really good. Elements of Style is great. I've read the Elements of Style. It's delightful. Unlimited power is yours.
'Tis an honor.
You can have one too. Cold Front, you're one of the OGs. Boop. I tried to do the OP thing. We'll see if that worked.
Excellent.
Congrats, Bush. Cool
Yes.
sword. Back up to 14.
He's already a mod. Oh, you must have it twice.
I recommend you're going to be... Yeah. It really helps with the word choice and especially style. Like those like has, like the combining the verbs, stuff like that. Like if you have like he had walked to the car instead of just saying he walked to the car. Those types of things are highlighted in elements of style and really help your prose pop. Mr. Randall, I know this may sound contradictory to the things I've said earlier, but I hope you understand that the price I put up has been changed. Fair enough. Oh, so I think like now that she has all this catter. Yeah, okay, so cool. Good cliffhanger. I'd clarify here. Also, consider setting up. You have some chatter with Randall, but something should indicate that this is a possibility. So, like, you know, this seems like a magical moment, but maybe if they're like, man, have you been hearing those weird reports on the radio about the aliens everywhere? And then they'll be like, oh, whoa, the alien struck. Favorite child. I'm from Wisconsin. Cows are very creepy, trust me.
My family's in Wisconsin.
Oh. Family in Wisconsin? The cow moo?
Yeah. Whereabouts in Wisconsin? Jay Crizzle.
Yeah. Wisconsin's a beautiful state.
Yeah. Got family there.
And it's very short, too. One of the other best ones on story structure, I always say, is Save the Cat as well. So the good, I think great setup and smooth writing style. I like the characters and the fact that one is dealing with loss. Adds depth. I would consider add conflict. There really isn't much driving me forward until like the cow magic thing happens. But then the risk is it's not super set up. So think about ways to kind of engage me early, have some unanswered question or some goal that she's trying to do. This seemed very exposition heavy.
Or, like, I don't know if it's supposed to be magic, like these animals appearing there, but if so, maybe like a hint of like that this world has magic earlier or something.
Yeah. That cow.
Maybe it's just like some escaped cows in Dyson, but
Yeah, a
anyway,
hint that cow.
Something happening, like
Hint that cow sorcery
something on the
is
radio.
possible. Yeah.
Something on the radio, maybe.
Maybe it was, but
Oh yeah, maybe.
so that's the thing. Maybe it was, but that radio section was so long. Admittedly, I kind of began to skim a little bit, and kind of you lose. And that's just a challenge. Whenever you're focusing on something and you don't have someone hanging on every word because of conflict, it's hard for them to remember every word or to pick up those details that you're peppering in. And you're a conscientious writer. I'm sure you're doing that.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, without that conflict, it's harder to make those callbacks you're putting in early really pay their dividends later.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a cow, man. Cool. Hopefully not cowardice. Oh my god. Makes me feel mixed things.
Mm-hmm. They want to move to Arizona.
Yeah.
It's a small town conversation.
I think I should. No, the small town dates just come with it.
Oh. Okay.
Ah!
Yeah, I would maybe, I don't know, transfer that in. Maybe this is the throwing it in for the rest of the story, but...
Yeah, but I would even hint at that now. So I think you're right. So what's interesting is this chapter is kind of like setting that up for the entire work. But for a chapter turn or a chapter surprise at the end of the chapter, you still want to set it up a little bit. So whatever your like end of chapter kicker is, like make sure that that's been a little bit established, even if it's only been a few pages deep. Plenty of cowardice here. My eyes are too tired to read the screen. Oh no!
No worries.
Don't have a cow. There's no cow level.
Yes,
Ooh, that's a good
American
book.
Gods. Yes.
Is that good?
I'm trying to
Alright, I need to read it.
Yeah,
Thanks for that,
that's
Cold
good.
Front. Your little summary sort of reminds me of that for some reason. Just people trying to have normal lives. To be 100% honest, the American Gods. Ooh, interesting. I mean, that's the thing. Like, if you love a book, I think that's absolutely okay to like take the pieces of the world you like. Like, it's not plagiarism if you're just saying this is a kick-ass book. I just want to read more about it, and see what's up. So what I'm gonna do now is I think this is gonna be it for me and Foxy Lady. We're gonna post this stuff on Scriptshadow, and we're gonna go to bed. But what I will do for you guys, so you guys don't get bored, is I will try to find another creative Twitch stream, and then I'll just host that for you guys. So you guys, well, yeah, somebody did that for me a while back, and I was like, oh, cool, like that seems like a nice way to kind of sign off and make sure nobody gets bored, but also help some other people who are Twitch writers.
We're running hot tonight.
Yeah, Twitch writers
14
out
viewers.
there. Yeah, I know. We've been kicking butt and taking names. Alright, let's see. Any writers? Let's get creative. Riley Rex. So I don't know this person, but they're writing stories, and I think that's awesome. So, but I'm streaming Hearthstone. Oh, okay, cool. Then I will put on Majin Buu.
Yes. We had a very gluttonous weekend.
Yeah, we were
ate
fat
a lot
kids.
of food, and it was very hot in the city, so we're very
San Francisco, just like ice cream and gluttony has been pretty much our weekend.
Running around getting
and Twitch, we were on a lot. They were on a lot this weekend. We did good.
Yeah.
So it was fun hanging out with you guys as well.
85 degrees Fahrenheit in the city.
Well, then I will go ahead and host Majin Buu because he is playing some Hearthstone, which is a really fun game. C.S. Mish, focus on the book is definitely more on the people of the town rather than the magic stuff. Which may be a mistake. I think you're right. I mean, I think it's best to focus on the characters and their development. And I think you actually have a really good setup with the character right now. Jennifer, I believe. There's her name's Jennifer, right? Yeah, so I think her loss and how she deals with that is actually quite fascinating. I would make sure to make sure that loss is visualized as like a problem. So saying, hey, she's dealing with this loss in an unhealthy fashion by not re-engaging in her community or, not, like finding that peace. And so the only way she's going to learn to deal with that is through, this journey that this godlike presence is going to take her on, or like this like the way her town operates will be able to help her. So I missed my question. Whoops. I see a smish. I don't know. Whoa, you see it?
I would add my own. Wait. Nerona, right?
Yeah. Oh, hey, boss. Thank you for taking as my main. I think I'll pick up the. Yeah. Get that. Oh, I think I'll pick up tavares as my main in the Mars exploit. Do you think extending her scene will get that feeling across? Actually, what's really interesting is scene length doesn't matter as much as scene impact. So you already have two character intros, with the lady shooting herself, which is unfortunately the most impactful one so far, the most different. And then you have two likes after that, which is like, I get the message, I do my thing. I get the message, I do my thing. I get the message, I do my thing. So, there's a few things. So one is the lady shooting herself will outshine just about anything else you do. So that may be something you'll need to think about toning in a different way. But then you'll also, and I know you said you have a good idea too. Like you got something on your mind, and she has great ideas. But then the other thing you may want to think about is having something different. So everybody gets the summons and goes.
I was gonna say she should be the one that really doesn't want to go and like feels conflicted about it. That was what I was going to say.
Exactly, yeah. And usually the character with the conflict or the something that's most relatable is the one that we were looking at first and the hardest. Nice, 40k words in. That is a good chunk. Well done, Jay Crizzle. It's a cool start. I like it. Nice, JC.
Good Omens is funny. Yeah.
Also read that.
Yeah.
Of course. Well, thank you for sending it. It's always a blast seeing what awesome creative stuff you guys come up with. And I just want to underline everybody, even though these are notes, very good work. I thought all the writing tonight, but it was super strong.
Yeah.
So typical, like above average for sure.
Especially when I'm sleepy, sometimes I'm like I can't follow anything. Tonight I was like, no, I feel good.
Everything was clear. Everything had good characters. Probably like the biggest themes were just trimming the character count down, focus around the core conflict of the story. If you're not going to do it, at least have a temporary goal getting us there. But other than that, those are kind of the big takeaways.
Yeah.
Awesome, y'all. I'm going to go ahead and host up Majin Buu, and then I will send you all off for the night. Take it easy, y'all. Have a good